NFC Championship. So Robert Kraft is one of the great owners all time in the NFL, and he was talking about Tom Brady, and Robert Kraft came out, and I'll just play, the tape for you from the great Robert Kraft. Here you go.
Definitely the greatest player of all time, not just quarterback, in my opinion, because he's such a leader in the locker room, and for someone double the age of some of the players to be able to lead like that and connect like that, and at the same time, so pleasant to be around. It's, I'm really the luckiest guy in the world.
I'm not really an arguer. I'm not into the greatest arguments much. I think he is the greatest player of all time. The word I like is impactful. And because you could argue about the greatest in any industry, the greatest stockbroker, the greatest lawyer, the greatest doctor, the greatest teacher, that's hard to quantify. It's just you and I can go back. Impactful isn't just about you. It's about your entire industry and about others. That's hard to argue. And, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a little boy or a little girl, and you're 8 years old, and your parents get divorced. And your life's in chaos. Dad's gone. You're 8. Say you're a little boy. And then your mom a year later remarries, and he's your Little League coach. And he's into camping and fishing. He teaches you how to do that. And he makes decent money, so over the course of time, he takes you on really interesting, fascinating vacations. Whether he's the greatest dad of all time, who knows? But the impact he had on your life, from chaos and divorce to stability, support, and learning and growing, you can't argue that. I've said this about NBA stars. Michael Jordan was a great player, but he also was the only player, the first player to make the NBA global. Michael Jordan was great and had major impact. Magic and Bird were obviously great players, but they, if not saved, revived a mostly dead NBA. They were impactful. LeBron James changed free agency. You're now thought of as weak if you don't go to a better team. That's impactful. Steph Curry revolutionized the game and mostly eliminated back to the basket centers. Those are all great players. They're impactful. Kobe Bryant's great. He's not that impactful. Lakers were good before him, during him, and will be great after him. The NBA was fine before him, during, and after him. Kobe's great. Kobe's amazing. He's like the closest thing to Jordan, but not quite Jordan we've ever seen. Magic, Bird, LeBron, Steph, MJ, they were impactful. That's where Brady separates from the Dan Marinos and the John Elways and the Peyton Mannings and the Brett Favres. Forget the fact that he holds so many playoff records, and in most instances, he has double and triple the numbers of playoff games played, started, wins, passes thrown, passes completed, passing yards, passing touchdowns. In many instances, he almost doubles Peyton Manning. That's not the impact. The impact is quarterbacks now eat differently and sleep differently and consume alcohol differently during the season because of Tom Brady. Tom Brady has changed, in terms of impactful, the way we view age. If Aaron Rodgers retired today at 35, his career would be a disappointment because Brady has now made 40 the new standard. Before Tom Brady, if a quarterback, even a good one, retired at 35 and 36, that was a long and healthy career. If Aaron Rodgers retired tomorrow, he got to 35, he's changed how we view the longevity of the position. By the way, now, he takes pay cuts, has for a decade. You're seen as greedy, not into winning. Drew Brees took big money, watched Brady, scaled back. Tom has set the standard via agents with veteran quarterbacks. You take pay cuts, or you really aren't into the team thing. Tom Brady has also altered the meaning of success. It used to be if you got to a Super Bowl, there was an argument for a Hall of Famer. 2 was surpassing any reasonable standard. Tom's now been to 8. Tom shrinks Peyton Manning's career. Makes Favre look really, really good, but not that level. He's doubled Montana. Forget the stats and the rings. His body, his diet, how he's reshaped his contract, how he doesn't drink during the season. Greatest quarterback, you can argue it all day. Obviously, I think so. Impactful, nobody's even close. Let me shift to the Rams-Saints game. Speaking of impactful, I think we've all watched the recent NFL hirings. Joy and I have reported those. Those are a direct correlation to Sean McVay. The jokes now, even Wade Phillips joked this week as the Rams defensive coordinator. He had a friend who had a cup of coffee with McVay and got a job interview. If the Rams win this weekend on several levels, the league will change. Now, people always say the NFL's a copycat business. Everything's a copycat business. I mean, Amazon.com delivered stuff to your door. I can now have every grocery store in my neighborhood and every restaurant deliver food to my door. That's because of Amazon.com. Every business is a copycat business. You know, Facebook was copying MySpace. Now everybody, social networking, all of them are some derivative of Facebook. But the Rams, this is interesting, are the healthiest team of the 4 left. No injuries. No injuries. If the Rams win this game this weekend, and it's a field goal game either way, I'll have my pick in 45 minutes. Remember the 3 things the Rams have done to alter the league. They went into free agency big, and with guys who are viewed as divas, big. They have lighter practices than every other team. Fewer pad days. Give veterans time off. They also, do you remember this in preseason? Refused as an organization to play any other top players a play. A play. We already know that owners want to get the next Sean McVay, and we've seen that with the 8 coaching openings. It appears 7 are going to try to duplicate Sean McVay. But I read a story last night. Todd Gurley practiced all week, totally healthy, skipped 3 games. The Rams win this weekend. Watch next year's preseason. Stars will not take a snap. They won't. The top stars in the league, the Rams have set a precedent. Increasingly, watch NFL practices get lighter and lighter because the Rams, if they win this weekend, have a full complement of players. Their injury report, I kid you not, there's nobody listed. That's unheard of in the NFL. And most impressive for the LA Rams, skip preseason, lighter practices. They went huge into free agency. And with Ndamukong Suh and Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters, guys that aren't always easy to get along with. So I think if you're talking about tipping points, a Rams win this weekend changes the way a lot of owners and a lot of GMs think. Free agency will be bigger. Practices will get lighter. The preseason will become completely irrelevant. Star running backs will take half a month to a month off. They just said, Todd Gurley, you're not playing. 3 weeks. Don't take a carry. And it's paid off. This week, completely healthy. So I think impact this weekend, keep your eye on the Rams. In 45 minutes from now, I will pick both games. 8-0 straight up. Very good against the spread. We've been sort of on fire. It is funny when you talk about, the Brady thing. I went and dug up a stat this morning that is incredible. And I think sometimes we don't give credit to great companies and great people and great coaches and great players that We often say, well, Saban hasn't faced good teams. The Eastern Conference was weak with LeBron. Brady's in a weak division. You'll be amazed what we dug up in regards to Brady and his division. It is absolutely kind of mind-blowing. That's coming up next. 45 minutes. Peter King in 15 minutes joining us as well. In sports, there's a lot of moves you can make. The smart ones are calling a timeout, setting up Philadelphia Eagles a winning touchdown. A dumb move is calling one. You don't have one. You're penalized, takes you out of field goal range. Same is true in hiring. A lot of websites with a lot of resumes. But if they're not matching you up with qualified people, what's the point? And that's where ZipRecruiter comes in. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology can not only scan and provide thousands of resumes, but they identify people